guys, the Benidorm Enthusiast here. Today I'm bringing you an update on some of the potential changes to travel procedures and travel requirements which we may see introduced in the coming months. There are three main topics I'm going to be talking about today, and we have covered all three in quite some detail on previous videos. I'll add the links to those previous videos in the video description below if you want to check back on them. But today I'm hoping to summarise everything really and make it as easy to understand as possible so you all know where you stand when it comes to your future holidays and travel to Spain. So the first thing I'm going to talk about today is the new registry, or database if you like, in which the Spanish government wants to use to store data on anyone who uses tourist accommodation or renting vehicles. Now this was very controversial, mainly because some of the pieces of data they wanted to store were bank account details. And this was set to come into force on the 2nd of December this year, even though the initial law to create this registry was passed way back in 2021. And the initial list of data they wanted was extensive and quite invasive, to be honest, and it caused uproar from the tourism industry. One reason being that it was beyond impractical for the likes of hotels and car hire companies to collect and pass on all this information from every client, but mainly because it was seen as an invasion of privacy. There were really no logical reasons given by the government as to why they would need such sensitive information to be stored on a central database. Anyway, the government did see sense, it seems, after immense pressure from the tourism industry. They backed down on the data requirements, at least anyway. A wise move, I think, judging by the comments we saw on our previous video. If they were to push for all that information to be stored, the bank details part especially, then it could have been absolutely disastrous for the tourism industry in Spain. We would have seen a massive public backlash, I'm sure. The registry is going ahead from the 2nd of December, but as it stands, they are not asking for any more information or any more data than that you already have to provide when you're checking in at hotels or apartments or when you're renting a car. So you're really not going to notice any difference at all with that procedure from the 2nd of December. Now, whether they'll push for more things to be added in the future remains to be seen really, but we'll be keeping a close eye on any news around this and bring you any updates on future videos. Okay, the second thing I want to talk about is the EES. This is the EU Entry-Exit System, a digital system which will require travellers to register their passport details and biometric information, so that's fingerprints, etc., at European borders as a digital record before entry. The EES will track the entry and exit of third country nationals into and out of the Schengen area, replacing the need for passport stamps. And the EES has been in the works for many years now, and it has had many start dates and many delays. The last update we did on this was in September, when it looked like it was actually going to go ahead at the then start date, which was November the 10th. We went through a lot of details on that video, so if you do want more info, go and have a look at that. I'll post a link in the video description. Loads of useful info on that, which is still valid. Just take no notice of the start date because, of course, we have now passed November the 10th and the EES has still not been implemented. So what happened? Well, mid-October it was announced that the introduction of the EES would be delayed yet again. I think this is the fourth delay now, it could even be the fifth, I've lost count. And this time they haven't even given a specific future date for launch. The European Commission have stated that they are examining a progressive phased approach to rolling out the EES in 2025. So your guess is as good as mine on this one as it stands at the moment. I believe most countries have pretty much everything in place ready to go with it, but there were a few countries that when the November 10th launch date approached stated they weren't ready and they needed more time. Officials in France, Germany and the Netherlands admitted they weren't prepared to roll out the new digital system, and that led to the last postponement. So maybe we'll see it rolled out in some countries before others. Perhaps that's what they mean by a progressive phased approach. But as we are right now, we don't have any dates set to look at when it comes to the introduction of the EES. Again, stay tuned to the channel, get subscribed if you're not already, as we will bring you any updates on here. Third and final thing I want to talk about today is the ETIAS visa waiver scheme. ETIAS stands for European Travel Information and Authorisation System. It's a travel authorisation that covers nationals of visa-exempt countries coming to the EU for short-term stays. So essentially it's a visa waiver for citizens of third countries. The ETIAS will need to be applied for when it eventually comes into force, which is now expected to be the middle of 2025. The application is basically a screening process, so you'll first need to enter your personal details and confirm your identity, and then you'll need to answer a few questions relating to your health, to your travel history and your criminal record. The ETIAS will be required for all ages. It's expected to cost €7 and it will last 3 years or until your passport expires, whichever comes first. Under 18s and over 70s will be exempt from the €7 fee. Again, we've seen various delays and postponements regarding the ETIAS. Been pushed back 4 or 5 times, again I've lost count now, and we still have no specific date for the next expected launch. If you want more info on the ETIAS, there's another link, another video in the video description to a more detailed video that we did quite a while ago now. But aside from the launch date, the information on that video when it comes to the application process and so on is still valid info. We'll keep following the news to see if they announce a set date anytime soon. What are your thoughts on these changes to travel? Let us know in the comments section. When it comes to the EES and the ETIAS, is it ever going to happen? I'm starting to doubt it now myself. The implementation just seems to be an impossible task. Will it put you off travelling? I know it is a bit daunting listening to all this. If it does eventually happen, it will probably take some getting used to. But I think once we've done it once or twice, I don't think it's going to seem like such a big deal as it does at the moment. Constant delays are definitely not helping bring confidence to people thinking about travelling. There's certainly an element of stress added when you think there may be changes coming in around the corner, or when you're about to travel and then last minute announcements of delays. They're just adding to people's confusion. Hopefully we'll get some clarification soon on dates as to when they intend to implement those 2 EU border security systems in 2025. As I mentioned, keep your eye on the channel, click subscribe if you haven't already, so you're following our channel. It's completely free to subscribe, guys, and if you click the bell, you'll also be notified when we upload a new video. You can also check us out on our other socials, where I also post important updates. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, X and TikTok at the Benidorm Enthusiast. Thanks for watching, stay positive and stay safe.